Welcome to A&A Time Travel News.
Today we will be looking back at the trails during the westward expansion.
There are 6 main trails that people took to get to the west. There were the Oregon, Santa Fe, California, Mormon, Gila River, and the Old Spanish trails. These trails were quite long, and they spanned between 750 miles to 2,000-mile-long journeys. All trails were popular, and they lasted from around 1821 to 1880.
There are many different ways people traveled, but one of the most common ways was by wagon, pulled by a team of oxen. Oxen were good for the journey because they were large and strong, not picky eaters, calm-tempered, and cheap.
Pioneers usually travel in groups including their family or people of the same beliefs would travel together. People traveled on these trails because they wanted to own new land. If they needed more money, they could sell sections of their land and make more money. Some people would even use these trails to escape from people they owed money to.
A group of people that traveled west were the Mormons. This group traveled west because their religious beliefs were hated on so much that they wanted freedom and out of judgment, and moving west gave them this opportunity. This was a 1,300-mile-long trail from Nauvoo, Illinois to Salt Lake City, Utah. 14,000 travelers went along this trail using 2-wheeled handcarts.
Some known people that traveled on these trails were the Mountain Men. Mountain Men were tough and resourceful and traveled and explored the West, trapping furs to sell for profit. They carried some of the first knowledge of the far West and later made it possible for pioneers to move westward. They were able to publicize new routes in the far West.
Though many people traveled these trails, they came with many dangers, hardships, and difficulties. A major danger of the trails were the diseases, which included cholera, diphtheria, and dysentery. Travelers also faced lack of food and water, and towards the end, they lacked many other supplies like warm clothing, a place to camp out, and overall safety.
One of the groups that faced these hardships was the Donner Party. The Donner Party was a group of settlers that left their main group to follow a shortcut. This shortcut ended up being about 160 kilometers longer than the original route. Soon they realized that their supplies were going to run out before they could reach their destination. In the cold mountains, their wagon broke, so they had to stop with no solution of fixing their wagon. In the days to come, the group started to lack many of the needed supplies, including food and water. This group can show the dark side of traveling west, when they had to eat each other's limbs in order to survive.
During westward expansion, women were able to step out of the usual domestic jobs such as cooking, cleaning, and raising children on their trips westward and showed a wider range of their skills. Even though they had these new jobs, women still took care of food and laundry, but also drove teams of oxen and cared for the sick and injured.
People traveling west had the idea of manifest destiny because moving west meant new land and starting a new life for their family. Mountain Men were explorers that found and publicized these trails in the new territory, and they made it possible for pioneers to travel along them.
Many people who traveled along the 6 main trails traded with other travelers and Native Americans who lived in the area. When mountain men trapped furs, they were able to sell them for profit using a trading arrangement called the Rendezvous system. Mountain men were able to come to a prearranged site and sell their furs and buy supplies. This was a very popular thing when beaver hats were in fashion.
Thanks for watching A&A Time Travel News.